If you've ever thought to yourself, I'm not going to shop until I achieve the aesthetic I want, knock it off. I bet you will achieve your results sooner if you feel like a hot mama on the daily. Welcome to the Dangerous Women podcast, where the intersection of fierceness and femininity fuels empowerment. Our goal is to provide women with insights to unleash their power. Grounded in the 7 principles of self-confidence, we guide women to embrace their duality, delicate as a flower, yet powerful as a bomb. I'm your host, Colleen Conlon, inviting you to join me as we explore topics on health and wellness, empowering you to embody the essence of your dangerous woman. If I had 10 tips for feeling confident in my body, one of them would for sure be to wear clothes that fit you. There have been times in my life where I did not, and it sucked. When I was younger, I struggled with an eating disorder for roughly a decade, which I'll share more about on a later episode. But during this time, and even after, I gave so much worth to numbers. Like, I based my worth on the number I saw on the scale, the number in my pants, and then eventually the number on the kettlebell that I could lift. And what I've worked on in therapy is knowing that I have self-worth the same way as you do. We are all born with it, and numbers do not give us more or less worth. So this year, I'm in a gaining phase. And last year, I went into a deficit with registered dietitian Hillary Irvin, who's been a guest on this podcast. And between her nutrition programming and my strength training programming, I got super lean in the healthiest way possible. Super high protein, and week to week for a few months, she slowly started to lower my carb and fat intake. I was on a hypertrophy-focused strength training program 4 to 5 times per week. And by the time we finished the deficit, I was psyched with my progress. I even hit a few performance PRs, and I attest that to the timing of my pre and post-workout fuel and religiously taking creatine. But by the end, I remember putting on lingerie one night for some sexy time with the hubs, and my bottoms literally slipping off. And I was like, it feels great to have achieved this, but I want my ass back. What would life be like if you could get that toned look? You could have physical superhuman strength by training with just 2 kettlebells at home. What would happen if you were on a program that strengthens self-awareness and courage so that you can develop a deeper connection and trust to self? What about this? What if you could be in a community with other women where you are encouraged to be assertive and resilient to build mental and physical strength? If you're waiting to hear what the offer is, this is it. Swing to Snatch, a 13-week kettlebell intensive, is my signature course that empowers women to get started with kettlebells. Work with me live in a virtual container guaranteed to grant you kettlebell queen status. To learn more, visit www.colleenconlon.com. So beginning of 2024, Hillary and I began to program out my year. And in regards to nutrition, the goal has been eating in a surplus to build muscle. And then when we go into 2025, I'll go into a deficit for a few months to decrease the body fat that I'm inevitably gaining from eating so much food while maintaining the muscle that I've worked really, really hard to gain. So this year, my clothes, they fit different. And right now it is June 13th that I am recording this. And I have put on about 15 pounds since the start of the year. And I don't care about the number. This episode isn't about getting over numbers and self-worth, but maybe I'll do an episode on that later. It's about clothing and confidence. And I just wanted to give you that background. If you don't fit into your clothes, buy a size you do fit in. Squeezing into something too small, it literally just like makes my whole body feel unwelcome. And then on the flip side, wearing stuff that's too big, it isn't fun either, because it's like you're hiding yourself from the world. Hiding your body in clothes, there is a connection to shame. And there were times that I didn't want to be seen because I didn't want attention, which is something I've worked towards healing in therapy. Now, how we dress, what we wear, it impacts how we show up. If we hide or if we feel uncomfortable, it's going to impact our energy, our social interactions, and how we feel about ourselves. Now, because I'm in a phase of gaining to then cut, my body is changing. So I am not getting rid of my clothing. I'm keeping everything that brings me joy, but only keeping what actually fits out so I can see it. And that way I know I'm going to feel good in this. Now, I've invested in some new pieces, stretchier pieces that I can keep around if this ends up, just like being a thing that I do. But if you've ever thought to yourself, I'm not going to shop until I achieve the aesthetic I want, knock it off. I bet you will achieve your results sooner if you feel like a hot mama on the daily. So you know what's up with your current closet. If you know there's pieces that aren't fitting and it's impacting how you are showing up in the world, go take this as a sign to treat yourself to some new pieces that fit and bring you joy so you can show up confidently as the dangerous woman you and I both know you to be. Thank you for listening to the Dangerous Women podcast. If you had any groundbreaking takeaways from today's episode, please tag us on social at the Dangerous Women podcast. To make sure you never miss an episode, subscribe below.